the play Amadeus that many people will know from the Oscar-winning film from 1984. So it sees Paul's character, Salieri, a successful composer for the Emperor, attempt to destroy the young, exceptionally talented Mozart, played by Will here. So, Will, tell us where we find him at the start of the series.
At the start of the series, Mozart is arriving in Vienna. He's a
talented man, and he sort of plots against him, doesn't he?
Yes, I think he feels that God has abandoned him and chosen a different human to be his voice, and it quite literally drives him mad, I think.
Now, you know, these are based on real people. You know, we've got the art that lives with us to this day. But how much of what we're going to see in this series actually happened, and how much was, I guess, left to your poetic licence?
Well, I guess the story of Amadeus, like in Peter Shaffer's play, is famously sort of fictionalised. So these are versions of the characters and versions of the relationship between Mozart and Salieri. So anything that we found sort of in researching their real lives, I feel like it's quite liberating in a way. You could sort of take or leave it. If it was helpful or interesting, you could use it. And if it didn't sort of feed into what we were making as a show, then we could sort of leave it be.
Yeah, it's quite nice, isn't it? Dip in and out. Paul, your character has been played by lots of iconic actors, including Sir Ian McKellen, who won a Tony on Broadway, and then F. Murray Abraham. He won the Oscar for Best Actor. So was that a bit daunting, or is that a nice challenge to have?
No, they're hacks.
It
was daunting, but then I thought, you know, there are so many different performances of Iago or Hamlet or whatever that I thought I'd give it a go.
Yeah. Did a great job.
Yeah,
very much.
Absolutely.
Now, many people, of course, have heard of Mozart. He's such an interesting standout figure in classical music. How did you start, you know, using his music to help you get into character? Because this guy was making music from the age of 5 years old, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite unusual, I guess, to have that as a resource when you're preparing for a role, and I found it, like, quite helpful to be able to listen to his music to get a sense of who he was, I suppose. And it's like the breadth of it is kind of extraordinary. Like on one end you've got like very playful, like almost sort of silly tunes, and then at the other end you've got these huge, like grand, very dark, serious pieces, and sort of listening to that and meditating on him and trying to sort of marry all those different aspects into one person, I guess.
It's honestly a treat, Jamie. You love this over Christmas. And you see both characters conducting orchestras a lot, of course, throughout it. What was that like then, Paul? Was it good to have that control?
It was amazing. I got a lot of help. My son is at the Royal College of Music.
OK.
He is doing his master's in composition.
Wow.
And so he helped me a lot, and doing it was quite a powerful feeling, actually. We had playback, but it was a real orchestra. And so at one point where I'm conducting, and they stopped the playback, and the orchestra continued as I was conducting. And then when I stopped, they stopped, and it's quite a powerful feeling.
Yeah, nice.
I can imagine that can be quite addictive for a composer. You know? Now, Will, you're also playing the music yourself, including the piano, where it is quite literally on fire, or not? Bit of trickery, bit of both?
Well, there was one scene, yeah, where I set a piano on fire, and it was sort of like partially actually on fire. So it was quite sort of scary, actually, but also weirdly exciting. And it was one of those scenes where you just sort of have to jump in. And I remember looking down at the keyboard afterwards, and I'd sort of destroyed this old keyboard. But luckily, we only had to do it once.
Yeah.
So.
And it looks very good. Looks very dramatic. Jamie, you've learned to play the piano here.
Yeah, well, very badly, yes.
So by ear, or you reading
ear,
music?
And I do write, and then I go to talented people to turn it into beautiful compositions for documentaries and TV shows.
Hang on a
So
minute.
I did a really nice one for the last documentary, dyslexia documentary. Worked with a guy called Toby Tripp, who's really talented, and the most amazing string players. And you must have had... They're so talented, aren't they? The diligence that these players have. But yes, all from my nan's little old piano.
So you're composing?
Wow.
Yes, I mean, I would say from a very raw point of view, I will write these bits and pieces, go to someone like Toby that will arrange it beautifully and sprinkle magic on it, and then the talented players. But I think ultimately it's about trying to contribute to whatever, in my case, it was a dyslexia documentary, trying to write something that felt like dyslexia. But you can do that with music, right? And it's very powerful. And I bet you had the best fun doing this.
I loved it.
It was fun,
It was
yeah.
great.
Can you play?
I could play like sort of chords.
'Cause you were doing that, but it looked
like
quite fluent.
Pop songs, but I had to
Right.
learn to play the pieces that needed to play on camera. But then what I found was we'd practice for about 6 months, and then we'd shoot the scene, and that evening it was gone. Like I just forget it immediately.
Right.
Like an exam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
kind of, yeah.
Well, you can
pass.
watch Amadeus from the 21st of December on Sky and Now.
Still to